Hey guys, welcome to Y&R Daily Update YouTube channel. Today's topics: Young and the Restless spoilers, December 12th. Nick takes matters into his own hands. On The Young and the Restless, Nick's attempt to protect Sharon sparks new tension, while Phyllis stirs up trouble with Kane, and Nate drops news that pulls Lily back into the middle of everyone else's chaos. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, December 12th, prove that Nick would do anything for Sharon, and that Phyllis would do anything to make sure everyone else is as miserable as she is. Key takeaways: Nick does something Sharon never asked for. Phyllis thinks she's being clever with Kane. Nate has news for Lily. Next on Y&R Nick, Joshua Morrow has always been a chip off the old Victor, Eric Brett. Now he's going out of his way to prove it. Nick is convinced that Sharon case is in danger from Matt Roger Howarth, so Nick is going to do whatever is necessary to protect her. Did Sharon ask him for this? She did not. Did he ask her if it was okay? He did not, but Nick knows what needs to be done better than Sharon does. You're welcome. Phyllis pushes Kane's buttons. Phyllis Michelle Stafford, who called out the blur between her and Phyllis, just loves the sound of her own voice, especially when she says witty things that are destined to render her opponent speechless. Even if it doesn't work, Phyllis still knows that it did. She believes in herself. She is a confident, strong, brilliant, unbeatable woman. Phyllis reminds Kane Billy Flynn of this. Even if it doesn't work, Phyllis still knows that it did. Kane will recognize her superiority, eventually, and then he'll feel so bad that he ever dismissed her. Nate confides in Lily. Lily Crystal Khalil is the epicenter of everybody's issues. She's got Kane and all of his drama on one side. She's got Nate Sean Dominic and his on and off, push and pull with Audra Zulika Silver. Her cousin thinks Lily needs to hear all the details of their complicated family dynamics, and Lily has no choice but to listen. This doesn't even account for her parenting the twins or her current work situation. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. December 12th delivers a quintessential Young and the Restless episode built on one enduring truth. When chaos brews in Genoa City, Nick Newman is the one who steps forward when everyone else is either manipulating from the shadows or spiraling emotionally. This installment doesn't rely on explosive twists so much as it leans into character-driven urgency, giving Nick a long overdue moment to reclaim narrative authority in a family where control is currency. At its core, this episode is less about what Nick does and more about why he does it, and that distinction matters. For months, Nick has been positioned as the moral center of the Newman orbit, the son who sees the damage caused by secrecy, vendettas, and power plays yet struggles to stop them before they metastasize. December 12th marks a turning point. Nick stops reacting and starts acting. Nick Newman's choice. Action over permission. Nick's decision to take matters into his own hands is framed not as reckless defiance but as weary resolve. The writing smartly underscores his frustration with endless Newman chess games, particularly those orchestrated by his father. Nick isn't trying to win, he's trying to end something that's been allowed to fester too long. What works especially well here is how the episode resists painting Nick as impulsive. Instead, the pacing shows us a man who has listened, warned, and waited, and now realizes that patience has only emboldened the people causing the most damage. This makes his move feel earned, not reactive. Nick's strength has always been his emotional intelligence. On December 12th, that intelligence manifests as strategy rather than speech. He doesn't announce his intentions loudly. He executes quietly. That tonal shift signals growth and, perhaps more importantly, danger. The shadow of Victor Newman. Discussion of Nick's actions can be separated from the gravitational pull of his father. Victor Newman looms over every decision Nick makes, even when he isn't physically present in a scene. The brilliance of this episode lies in how it uses Victor as an unseen antagonist. Nick's move is not an attack on Victor, it's an indictment of Victor's methods. By bypassing the usual Newman hierarchy, Nick essentially declares that loyalty no longer means compliance. This is a subtle but powerful rebuke. Victor has always justified his manipulations as necessary evils for family protection. Nick's actions suggest something radical, that Victor's protection may now be the greatest threat. The tension between father and son doesn't erupt into confrontation here, but that restraint is purposeful. The silence between them is louder than any argument, promising fallout that will be both personal and explosive. Sharon's influence, the moral compass, reasserted. Nick's emotional grounding once again comes through his connection with Sharon Newman. Sharon doesn't tell Nick what to do, and that's precisely why her presence matters. She listens, reflects, and trusts Nick's judgment, a stark contrast to the manipulation he experiences. Elsewhere, their scenes offer a quiet counterpoint to the episode's tension, reminding viewers that Nick's choices are rooted in empathy rather than ego. Sharon doesn't absolve him of consequences. She simply affirms that standing still can sometimes be the most dangerous option of all. This dynamic reinforces a recurring theme. Nick's strength is not dominance but discernment. In a world where power is often loud and cruel, his brand of leadership is calm, and that makes it threatening to those who thrive on chaos. Adam Newman, the unpredictable variable. Nick's move inevitably reverberates through his relationship with Adam Newman, whose reactions are layered with suspicion, resentment, and begrudging respect. Adam is used effectively here as a narrative mirror, another son shaped by Victor's legacy but responding to it in entirely different ways. Where Nick seeks resolution, Adam seeks leverage. December 12 subtly contrasts these approaches, setting the stage for future conflict. Adam doesn't immediately oppose Nick, but his watchfulness suggests he's already calculating how this shift in power could affect his own standing. The episode wisely avoids turning this into a simple brother versus brother standoff. Instead, it presents them as two men navigating the same trauma with opposing survival strategies. A nuance that elevates the storytelling beyond soap cliches. Thematic resonance, control versus responsibility. What makes this episode resonate is its thematic clarity. Nick's decision isn't about seizing control, it's about assuming responsibility. That distinction is crucial in a show where control is often conflated with strength. By taking action without seeking approval, Nick challenges the toxic cycles that have defined the Newman family for decades. The episode suggests that real power lies not in domination but in accountability, a bold message in a narrative landscape obsessed with winners and losers. December 12 doesn't resolve the conflict it ignites, nor should it. Instead, it reframes the stakes. Nick's move draws a line in the sand, forcing others to choose between perpetuating old patterns or confronting uncomfortable truths. Final verdict: Young and the Restless. Spoilers. December 12. Nick takes matters into his own hands, succeeds because it trusts its characters and its audience. Rather than relying on shock value, it invests in emotional logic and long-term consequences. Nick Newman emerges not as a hero, but as a man finally done asking for permission to do what he believes is right, in a town built on secrets and schemes. That may be the most dangerous choice of all, and the most compelling. If this episode is any indication, the ripple effects of Nick's decision will reshape alliances, expose fractures, and challenge the Newman legacy at its core. And for viewers, that promise of meaningful fallout is exactly what keeps Genoa City must-watch television.